Back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the one, the only Taylor Hoar. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Before we start this, I've been asking people to do this. Can you remind everybody what you do and just kind of reintroduce yourself? Because it's been a while since you've been on here.
Yes. So I race full time at Thunder Road in the late model division and a little bit of a per diem schedule with American Canadian Tour and at White Mountain Motorsports Park. And I haven't been racing too long. I'll be entering my fifth year of racing, I believe, this 2025 season. So I'm very excited, and that's kind of a little bit about what I do.
Um, yeah, I obviously I know you came from a racing family. I know your dad raced, and stuff like that. And racing at Thunder Road and running for the points championship. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were the first female in like 10 years to try it. What was that
Yeah.
like for you?
It was very cool. Thunder Road has kind of always been my home track, obviously, just as I've been a driver, but especially watching my dad growing up. Thunder Road just always where it's been at. So it was very cool to kind of, add to the history books per se and be the first female in over a decade to compete for a championship in the division. So that was very cool. And just to kind of be able to add my own stats, obviously, there's some pretty cool stats from Tracy Belrose in the late model division at Thunder Road. So will be hard to top hers, but I'm obviously excited to try one day. But just cool to add my own stats. So yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so biggest thing, I obviously, I know 2024 was kind of it was a very interesting year on a lot of different for a lot of different reasons. But what was last year like for you, Taylor?
I like to look at it like a roller coaster, a lot of highs and also plenty of lows, which is just happens in racing a lot of times. So there was a lot of good moments and memorable moments and good things. And then there was a lot of bad things that were just kind of, bad luck or mistakes, which everyone has and, happens to everybody. So a lot of unfortunate luck was mostly the downs of our roller coaster per se, but kind of just as a part of this crazy sport we all love.
Yeah. So really, going into what is there one moment that stands out to you from 2024?
Um, I think just my best moment was I podiumed this year. I got third. I didn't have the world's best race car, but just held on to it. And it was cool just because, kind of along with the little women in stats thing, I was the first female in over a decade to podium in the late model division at Thunder Road. So it was kind of cool because the list of females that have been on the podium, Tracy Belrose and Emily Packard, are drivers that I looked up to and still look up to. So it's pretty cool to have added that and, getting out of my car. There was people cheering for me that kind of made me feel like I won. And it was definitely a win for us. Um, as much as it's not as cool sounding as a win, it was very exciting for us. And just the fan love from Thunder Road is like no other for me. So it was very cool and a very memorable moment for us.
Every Thursday night, racing at Thunder Road.
Yes.
So I know obviously you have a lot of things that you have planned for 2025 and stuff like that. Just kind of tell me like what you have planned.
So we will be back at Thunder Road on Thursday nights full time in the late model. And then we don't have anything completely set in stone, but we would love to run a few more American Canadian Tour races and White Mountain Motorsports Park races just to keep, developing my skills and getting me to different tracks that I've never been to or bringing me back to tracks that um, we can just keep learning on and improving. So I'm very excited. We had a good strong run last year until we didn't at White Mountain after blowing the motor, but I'm very excited to go back there, especially because I feel like we had a really good car, so I'd love to see what we could do there as well.
Yeah. Um, Really just what's it take to get around a place like Thunder Road?
Oh gosh, it takes, it's a lot different. As many know, I jumped up from a four-cylinder street stock to a late model last year and or this year, I should say. And I never thought I was gonna have to relearn how to drive my own home track, but it was definitely a big change. Obviously, the car's bigger, faster, in a lot of different aspects. So it takes a lot. it's definitely an intimidating track. You know, there's not a whole lot more room than two wide racing. So, you know, it's very tricky, but it's absolutely a blast when you have a fun car or a great car, a good handling car, and the competition there is like no other. You know, we're very fortunate to have a 20 car field or more on a good day on a weekly show. So, you know, a lot of tracks don't have that right now. And so we're very fortunate to have that. And um, it's just a blast. I don't know, even if I was in a different part of the country, that I would be able to say, and obviously I've only raced a few tracks, that I don't know that I'd be able to say any track can beat Thunder Road in my mind right now. Just the atmosphere of it is insane. And it's a good track once you get used to it.
Okay, I don't think I've ever asked you this question, but how do you like mentally get ready for a race?
Um, it kind of depends. I think it depends on where I'm at from the last week because, you know, it totally, you know, I could have had a bad week before, and you have to try and like push that back and say, you know what, forget that, put that in the past and move forward. And, you know, we're gonna come and do better things today and differently. You know, some people I feel like to blast music or whatever. And sometimes I do that. The past few years I would have to drive my own trailer to the track. So I would blast the music, but this year I've been driving with my dad mostly. And my dad, for most people in the Northeast who know, have has a great amount of experience in late model racing. So getting to talk to him about, you know, what we're looking for and, you know, maybe rethink about some things that happened the week before and what I can improve on or, you know, situation or what I need to do in certain situations. So that's kind of how I mentally prepare is just that drive to the track. We've got about an hour commute there. And it's exciting because we'll either jam out or we'll have, you know, a pretty good pep talk. And I don't think anything can get me more prepared than a car ride with my dad.
Yeah. Um, let's see. You know, outside, you know, I've always wanted, I don't think I've asked you this either, but outside of the car, you know, in terms of like marketing, all that fun stuff, what's that side been like to, you know, to learn and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I actually marketing has become one of my favorite things. I absolutely love doing my social media, and when I'm home at night, I'm just kind of making new social posts, getting ready for the season, and that's kind of how I've been even filling my off season time, just you know, working on my computer, getting some graphics built up, and you know, just all the things that I can be posting or ideas for marketing ideas like videos and posts and you know, posts that I can be promoting my sponsors and it takes a lot of work. I will say it is almost like a part-time job on the side or even a full-time job sometimes, but you know, I enjoy doing it and I think it's helped me and benefited me a lot to especially getting sponsors because they like to see the that you're engaged in social media and um I just really enjoy it. It's something that I feel like I, you know, solely run on my own. So it's a lot of work and sometimes it's hard to get the content I need when I'm, you know, my own camera girl half the time. So um it's exciting, but I'll say it's definitely a lot of work, but I wouldn't trade it for the world because that's definitely one of my favorite parts.
What are your goals for 2025?
Um, I think honestly, still pretty realistic. I mean, I would love to go win a race. We had a few good races last year, you know, a few strong runs that unfortunately too many flat tires took away our wins or potential wins, I should say. You know, I think we'd love to go top 10 or top 5 in points, but like I've said, I mean, to be realistic, Thunder Road has, you know, at least 20 cars a week in the field and at least 15 or more are absolutely equally competitive. So, and you know, a lot of these guys have been racing longer than I was born or longer than I've been alive, I should say. So, you know, the competition is there. But I really feel like we have a good program and um you know, I think we just kind of got to start at the first race and go from there and, you know, be realistic, but also keep pushing ourselves to a higher point. And, you know, I think, you know, a lot of top fives, podiums, I would love to be on the podium, obviously, as any racer would. But, you know, I think I would definitely love to win just at Thunder Road. It'd be pretty cool and historic in this, in the same speaking. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't have too many like written down goals. You know, we just like to go. Um, try and hit our marks and go have fun. We have a really awesome crew behind me, so um, just want to go be competitive and see where that can land us.
Yeah. All right. All right. When is your first race, and where will we might see you?
I believe May 5th or 4th or 5th. I believe the 5th. We will be at Thunder Road for it's an American Canadian Tour race. So we will be there, and that should be our first race. And I'm very excited to kick off the season back at Thunder Road.
All right. Well, Taylor, thank you so much for the time as always, and we'll talk to you soon later on in the year.
Yes, thank you for having me on.